Diaz, kicker.
This is Taylor Beal, linebacker.
This is Jordan Oldroyd, quarterback.
This is RJ Moreno, running back.
This is Corey Coleman, wide receiver.
This is Taco Williams, defensive back, and you are listening to Georgetown Eagle Football on SHN Sports.
Hey, good evening, Georgetown, Texas. Can you guys all hear me tonight? Awesome. Well, this is week number 3. I was going to say already, but, man, after that bye week, it feels like we've been away from – who's ready to get back to some football here in Georgetown, Texas, man? I feel like we've been away for so long, so it's good to be back. Good to be back here at the Burger House, Burger University. Let's give a special round to Burger University. And Carmen, thank you for hosting us. Well, last week, of course, a bye week for your Georgetown Eagles, defeated South San 11-8 on the road. One round of applause for that win. 3-0 now here on the season. A close game versus another 6A opponent. Both those teams, of course, Georgetown and South San, undefeated entering the game. 84 points for the first 2 games, 837 total yards in the first 2 games. However, only 263 total yards versus South San, 135 on the ground, 128 through the air. The defense, though, giving up only 159 total yards. Let's give it up for the defense. We don't want to leave those guys out. They do so much great work. Well, as we continue the coaches show here, week number 3, first of all, any guests here tonight that may just be eating, they're wondering what's going on? You guys, good to have y'all here tonight. So thank y'all for being here. This is the Georgetown Eagle Nation Coaches Show. We do this every Wednesday here at Burger University. Please join me in welcoming up your Georgetown head football coach, Chuck Griffin. Coach, come on up. I was going to tell the guests, we used to have those $500 gift cards that we gave away, but someone in Cedar Park hit the Mega Millions yesterday, so we ran out of gift card money. So, unfortunately, Coach, did you win? Was that you, Coach?
It was not me.
No, so
I'm still here.
Did anybody get a Mega Millions ticket? Anybody? I mean, $250 million. Somebody's got to have friends in Cedar Park. That's who won yesterday. So, well, Coach, appreciate you being here. Before we get started, going back, we'll talk about South San here in a little bit, but let's talk about that bye week. How were things during the bye week? It was good to have that week off, get that out of the way, and now we're back to football, Coach.
Yeah, it was good. We got a couple of guys back, got a little healthy over this last week, which is good. And then our 6-week grading period ends this Friday, and so we're able to get a couple of practices in. We call them tutorial practices. Instead of going in the afternoon on Tuesday and Thursday, we hire some teachers and they go through a 2-hour tutorial instead of a 2-hour practice. And so it allowed us to get some of that stuff going and get our grades up, and get healthy. So it was good. We had a good week.
What do you tell the kids during those bye weeks? I know you talked about grades, studying, things like that.
The big thing is we want to get better as the Georgetown Eagles. I mean, that's kind of our focus every week, is not so much on our opponent, but on what we're doing and how we can get better. So that's what we focused on this last week. Well,
Coach, a close victory over South San Antonio in San Antonio just a week before last. Again, man, it seems like we've been away from football for so long. You got to talk about your defense. You've been impressed with those guys. What were some of the highlights of this game on the defensive end? They did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you play a triple option team, there's just so much going on, and they're not used to seeing that. And that there's not very many coaches that know how to stop that offense anymore because they're all retired. So we got a couple of guys that knew that and put a good game plan together. Our coaches, Coach Patterson, Coach Gear, they did a great job putting our game plan together. And then our guys just going out and executing. Braden Hargrove was one of our players of the game, and he didn't have as many tackles as he normally has, but he tackled the running back. He tackled the fullback every single play, and because that was his job for the night. He might not be chasing the ball, but he's tackling the fullback, so they can't give it to the fullback. So they played assignment football and did a really good job.
Well, Coach, we talk a lot about offense. We talk about defense. I want to give special teams a little shout-out. Also, Matt Diaz, a critical field goal in this game. Give it up for Matt. That was an awesome job, Matt. And you go back, and that field goal was kind of you can always break apart.
Field goal. Yeah, I mean, it's the game-winning field goal. That game, I don't know if you guys weren't there, we just never could get things going. Offensively, there was some they kind of had a game plan of dropping down on the ground about every third play and slowing the game down a lot. So it was just hard to get in a rhythm for the game. But some really good things we did do offensively. We executed a 2-minute drive there at the end of the half. And kick the game-winning field goal. So anytime you can do that in a live situation, run a 2-minute drill and get points, that's good. We're able to do that. We're able to get get an onside kick to win the game. I mean, because they scored there late, and they've got a great kicker. He could kick it in a teacup if you need him to. So it was really important for us to get that onside kick. We work that every day. As a matter of fact, in practice, the day before, I talked to him. I was like, guys, you got to pay attention to this because this is going to win us a football game. Turned out it won us a football game the next night. And then just conducting our 4-minute offense. They had the ball back, we got the ball with about 2 minutes, 53 seconds left in the game, and we're able to run out the clock and get a couple of first downs. And that's big. We didn't want to punt it to them, had to play defense again. So that was really good.
Well, Coach, you've kind of alluded to some of this. I was already going to ask you towards the end of the game. Of course, Georgetown gets down to 4th down. Herman able to get that first down on a keeper. And then, as you just said, of course, able to run the clock down. A little bit more about your offense and kind of walk us through that 2-minute drill, how you go over that in practice and how you go over those type of situations because they're so critical, especially as we saw at South San.
We have a couple times a week where we work game-type situations. We work and it depends on the day of week, but like today in practice, we did our 2-minute drill and our 4-minute drill. We did both of those in practice where we just take some time and we go good on good. It's first offense versus first defense. And we challenge them. The defense is in a situation in 4-minute drill where they're trying to get the ball back. That's their goal, is to make a stop. And offense is trying to continue to get first down so that we can run the clock out. So, and what's great about it is some days our offense wins, some days our defense wins, and that's the way you want it to be. You want to have a little bit of back and forth when it's good on good. So we try to work that every week. We work goal line situations every week just to make sure that we're prepared in the game. So when you see it pay off like that and win a close game, that's great.
Well, Coach, we're through 3 games now. I know it seems like a lot longer, but through 3 games, what from your coaching standpoint, what's kind of the evaluation, the heartbeat of the team at this point in the season before one last game before district play starts?
I think right now we're just playing great defense. We gave up 159 yards last week, 166 the week before. We're playing really good defense. Last week we had 2 fourth. Not only that, we had a safety. We've had 2 safeties in the last 2 games. Last week we had 2 fourth down stops. And then we held them to 3 out of 11 on 3rd down. And when you can do that, when you can win football games. So I think that's our heartbeat right now is our defense is playing really well.
Awesome. Kay's getting it started. We'll clap back there. Thank you, Kay. Appreciate you. I say it every week. I said Kay is the new Brenda Siosin. So thank you, Kay, for bringing that energy. We need it, so we appreciate you. Coach, you've touched on a few of these things already. Just some final takeaways, so a few more things that you were impressed with, and then maybe a couple of things that you guys still may need to work out a little bit.
Offensively, we still got to we're having some issues with ourselves. We had 4 illegal procedure penalties last week, and those are on us. We're in control of that. I don't get upset with effort penalties when it's things that just happen in the course of the game. Those things are going to happen. But when there are things that you can control, lining up incorrectly or going in motion at the wrong time or those kind of things, those are things we can control. And we've got to get better at that so we don't have that situation. And that's a little bit of playing 2 quarterbacks. But that's part of it. I mean, that's just part of who we are right now. We've got 2 guys that are playing good, and they're better together than they are individual, and which is it's just paying dividends for us. And all those things we're just continue to work out. We got a lot of youth. We've got Connor Heffernan and Alex Thiel played a lot. R.J. Marino played a lot. But really, everybody else on offense played really sparingly the year before. So all those guys are getting a lot of new playing time, and they're just continuing to gel and continuing to come together.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we're excited about, of course, the victory versus South San. Now we look ahead back here at Birkelbach. Homecoming. Who's happy about that? We're back at home, back at Birkelbach. I don't see Mr. Moreno. I'm happy to, of course, for the Eagles. I'm excited, but I'm also excited about that tailgating that goes on in that Mr. Moreno food back there. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, the Eagles now 3-0 to start the season. Of course, last year also going 3-0. The last time Georgetown went 3-0 before that was back in 2016. That's when Georgetown started 6-0. We look ahead to Stephenville this Friday, homecoming at Birkelbach here in Georgetown. Of course, last season on the road, lost to Stephenville 48-8. In that ball game, 4 turnovers. There was 3 interceptions thrown, 1 fumble, 217 yards passing total, 123 rushing. We saw R.J. Moreno, very limited action as he was still kind of nursing a couple of injuries, I believe, in that game. Only 3 carries for 3 yards. The Eagles, as I said, fumbled that ball once last year. The Bobcats 2-2, though. It's a little bit different season for the Bobcats, but
the Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm thinking of them. Yellow Jackets.
South San was the Bobcats.
That's right, yeah. See, Coach is correcting me, and I told you if there's something. I miswrote
right.
that. Well, of course, the Yellow Jackets, Stephenville, 2-2, a very tough 4A team.
Yeah.
You know, we're playing 6A teams. Now we go down to 4A,
Yeah.
but it's one of the toughest ones. They open with a loss on the road at Argyle, 42-14. 2 wins in a row, both of them at home versus Everman, 13-10, Wiley, 34-0. And then last week, Stephenville Yellow Jackets lost to Midlothian Heritage, 33-29 on the road. As I've talked about, a very tough 4A team. They, even though despite their season last year, a good season, they lost in the second round of the playoffs. Before we really dig into that, you know, Coach, back at Birkelbach, homecoming, talk about the atmosphere and how special that is for you as a coach and the kids as well.
You know, it's just great to be at home. It's the only game we were playing at home in September. It's the first time we've been at home in September, and it's the only game we're going to play in September, so at home. So that's really good, you know, to have a chance to come back home. We haven't been home since the opening weekend. So that's great. Homecoming, you know, for us as a football program, it's not really that big a deal. We talk to our guys. Their job at homecoming doesn't have anything to do with mums or floats or dances. It has to do with winning the football game. That's their job. So it's kind of business as usual for us. That's kind of the way we approach it. It's a great atmosphere just because the game's going to be – there's going to be a lot of people there. You know, one being the second game of the year, us being undefeated, and then having a good opponent coming to town that's going to travel really well. And then also being homecoming, it's going to make for a great atmosphere.
Well, as we talked about a very tough 4A team last year. Georgetown not able to get that win on the road, and Stephenville, I won't go into it, but there was just something about Stephenville that I was like, I can't wait till we get back home next year. So we're good, and we're thankful to be back at home. I think it was I got yelled at by an 85-year-old lady who ran a camera up there, and I said, you don't mess with grandmama up there at Stephenville. So we moved our equipment. We love you, Stephenville, but we moved our equipment. We didn't want to mess with grandmama, so we're just happy to be back at home. You know, for this Yellow Jacket team, any specific positions, players to keep an eye out on?
You know, Caden Renfro, the quarterback, he's really good. He has already committed to North Texas, but got an offer last week from Central Florida. So, I mean, he's a big-time player, and he's kind of what makes him go. They do a good job. They got some guys playing both ways. Probably their best overall player is Trace Morrison, number 13. He plays safety. He plays receiver. He's their kicker, and he's a really good kicker. I mean, he's a really good football player. You know, and Kason Phillips, number 15, the running back, does a great job too. So those are some big keys. Defensively, middle linebacker Colton, and I'm not even going to try to say his last name. It's like Akamazo or something like that. But man, he's good. And Daniel Luna up front, defensive lineman. He's very active and does some good stuff. So those are some key guys that we got to pay attention to. You know, I think the big deal is Cade. We got to try to rattle him. Got to try to keep him in the pocket. We can't let him get out of the pocket. That's when he gets really dangerous because he's got a really good arm. And when those guys run around and get open, he can put the ball on them. So,
as far as Georgetown, where do you feel that the Eagles have to get started on early? Where do they really need to get established in this ball game against the Yellow Jackets?
You know, it's the same thing I say every week. We need to make a stop and we need to score. And it always makes you feel a little bit better when you can get in that situation where you've made a good defensive stop and you go and score some points. I mean, that's the way it is every week. You know what I've challenged them on this week is this is the best football team we've played so far. Best coach team, best all-around team that we've played. So we got to go out and just play our game, do your job, you know, and play the way the Georgetown Eagles play and concentrate on us. Don't worry about them. Do our job and play hard no matter what. You know, last week they were I was at the Cedar Park game watching and they were up at one point in the game 28-7 and Midlothian Heritage was able to come back and win that game right at the end of the game, 31-28. So my challenge to them really all year, but especially this week, is play hard no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're 21 points up or if you're 21 points down. You got to play hard and get ready to come back and win.
Well, Coach, of course, every game very important, especially as we close out non-district play. Just from your perspective as a coach and your staff, a little bit more about just before we get into district, how important, what is really the mindset on closing out this non-district play with a win before we move into a very tough district, as you know? You
know, we haven't talked about that as much as we've just talked about this section of our schedule. These 3 games are our toughest games, you know, on the season, I feel. We feel like those are probably our toughest opponents right now, you know, until we get in the playoffs. And we feel like these 3 guys, these 3 weeks, our job is not only getting better physically, but getting better mentally, where we can practice at full speed, we can hone in at full speed and be focused on what we've got to do to get better, and that's just this stage of the season. And whatever the outcome is in the next 3 weeks, we want to carry that into the next season, and we take it another step as we go in the last 4 games. And then you take it another step when you get in the playoffs. And every step, every part of the season is just getting a little bit better, a little bit more honed in, a little bit more focused on your job.
You may have answered some of this already, Coach, but just to kind of wrap up as far as keys to victory, what would you put into those words?
Keys to victory, one, I think we got to be able to run some tempo on offense because they have some guys that play 2 ways. So we got to make them pay for that in the fourth quarter by just being able to tempo offensively. Defensively, we got to rattle number 1. We got to keep him in the pocket, but we got to make him uncomfortable. And we got to tackle him some and get on him some and just make him a little bit anxious back there and do a great job from that standpoint. I think if we do those 2 things, we're going to be in good shape.
Well, Coach, before we wrap up, just the last couple of questions here. Overall health of the team right now, and how are practices here with the bye week?
We've had a good week of practice this week. I thought we had good practice last week. We went in the mornings 3 days last week, and so that was a good reprieve for the guys. We were in the morning. It was a little bit cooler. And actually, one morning it was below 80 one morning. So
come on for that.
Being able to get out there and work when it was a little bit cool was great. We got healthy. We got some guys coming back this week. We still got a few guys that are out. We lost a couple guys last week that won't be back, but we're going to get some guys back this week, which will be good, and kind of getting those guys ready for district play. And then I thought we had a good week of practice this week. We went back to the afternoons, but it's been really good this week.
Coach, last question. Any final comments, any additional information you'd like to share before we wrap up?
No, just come on. Let's see you at the game and be loud, wear blue, and stay late.
Awesome. Well, Coach, again, we appreciate your accessibility. Makes our job very easy. Appreciate all you do for the community. Let's give it up. Head coach Chuck Griffin. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Rob.
Appreciate you, partner. Good luck. Well, again, as we continue the Eagle Nation Coaches Show here on SHN Sports, appreciate you joining us this evening. For those of you here in the, hey, you know what? I always like to make y'all clap. And tonight, we actually filled up the bottom, and we got people upstairs tonight. Can we give a K-Pledge holler for that? K-Pledge, can you give us a holler K-Pledge for that? And that just goes to show the community that's here in Georgetown. We sincerely appreciate all the folks that, at the end of the day, it's about promoting these kids and helping these kids, and that's why we're here, and we sincerely appreciate that. Well, every show, of course, I interview one player from the offense, one player from the defense or special teams. Today, the defensive player of the game, give it up as he comes up, our senior safety, Mr. John Miranda. Come on up, John. We went back and just wanted to chat with John. Appreciate you. And, these guys are busy, as y'all know, of course. They're going to school. They're practicing. You guys are out all day. And I'm shooting them a message on Twitter saying, hey, can you come? And I'm getting, replies at like 10:30 at night and 6 in the morning. So appreciate it, John. Good to have you, man.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Well, John Miranda on defense, safety versus South San. You made a tackle in the end zone for a safety, of course.
Yeah.
I think that was awesome. Let's give it up for the safety back there. All components that go to help with this victory. John, a varsity player now. Talk about your journey here at Georgetown and your leadership role now on the team.
Well, for my varsity, whenever I was first on varsity, it was last year, and I started the first game out on JV, and then I got moved up the second game, and then just from there, I started getting reps under Johnny Neich, and I started playing more throughout the season, and now I have the starting job.
And what has that been like now with the transition, of course, with some of these other leadership gone, and now you're at that varsity level? What has that been like for you? I know you were there last year, but now as a senior on varsity, what's that been like for you?
It's been really good. It's good teaching the younger guys, to how to do things, and just the ropes, just the way to do stuff.
Well, we go back just last week. First, what'd you do on the bye week, man?
Just practice.
That's a good answer. See, just made it quick and just practice. Nothing else. There you go, John. Well, hey, so let's go back 2 weeks now. You talk about a South San team. I said San Saba because I was at the PA in their game. We won't go into that one, man. That was a crazy score back here. So, but we go back to South San. How impressed were you with that victory, 11-8? Your defense. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we played really well. It was the game went by fast, but it was kind of long. It felt long, but really we were just waiting for the offense, just to do their thing. But it kept just we had to go out there and stop stuff every time, We just played really well, yeah.
What was it like to get that safety, man? You had to feel good about that.
Yeah, that was crazy, because, they're back to the end zone. I was like, oh, we got to get this safety. And then, he was just right there. I just wrapped him up from the legs. And then you see Taylor, Matt, and Aaron just come from the top and just hit him. And everybody was just going crazy.
Did you say anything to him? No,
I
you have to answer that.
I just said, let's go.
I always wonder because we see some of these guys mic'd up sometimes, not at the high school level. I'm always, what are they saying down there in those plays? You don't have to answer that though, John. So, anyways, I just wanted to ask you, but we'll talk about it afterwards. Hey, talk about some of the positive highlights in that game for you. Some other positive highlights. In that game.
I had like 3 tackles for loss. I had a few solo tackles and then some assists, but. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just tackles because, all they did was just run the ball. So that's about it.
Well, your defense, we've talked about it week in and week out here now on the Third Coaches Show, has been very impressive. Always room for improvement in some areas. From a personal level, where do you think that you need to improve on?
I feel like I can improve, like, in man coverage, just like man one-on-one. I could really improve on that, but anything else, I think it's all good.
As far as your overall defense, where do you think is a defense you guys can improve right now at this point?
I think we're playing really good right now, but I'm really not sure.
It's a good answer. You don't have to worry about anybody, so that's a really good answer. That's the proper way to answer here on.
But
Eagle
there's
Nation
always
Coach
room for improvement and everything.
Awesome. Well, I know, of course, expectations. You want to get up to the state championship. Mm-hmm. That's on everybody's mind every year. We're thinking about that, but your expectations for the remainder of the year, of course, that being the end result, but leading up to that, your expectations.
Definitely just take every game week by week, just focus on the opponent and not worry about what's ahead and just try to win every ball game.
Well, as we look ahead to South San, some of the exciting things that you're looking forward to, or as we look ahead to Stephenville, beg your pardon, some of the exciting things that you're looking forward to
for this week?
Yeah, this week coming up.
Just to get the dub. That's it.
Cool. Man, I like this. Let's get the dub. That's what we're hoping for. We know you guys got it, man. Some of your role models, man, who have you looked up to? Who's been some big influences in your life, man?
Definitely my 2 brothers. They played football here in Georgetown. And my oldest brother, he was on the team that went to state. And I've always just, looked up to them, since that year. I would always think, I want to do that, but, actually win. So that's something I've always that's something I've always wanted to do.
What were they telling you during those years? I'd like to ask you that. What were some things that maybe they said to you? You being the little brother, man.
You just wait for your time because it'll come and it'll go by fast. So you gotta just cherish it.
That's awesome, man. Future plans?
Definitely go to college. I want to go to Texas State and study there. That's about it.
Awesome, man. Camera right there on you. Who do you want to send a shout-out to tonight from
Shout out my
Georgetown?
dad, my mom, my stepmom, all these guys over here, Roblox, the whole team, Coach Griff, Coach Aguirre, Coach Pat, the whole coaching staff, Taylor, Matt, Alex, Adam, and Aiden.
Awesome.
Just everybody in here. And Burger U.
Well, let's give it up for John Miranda. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Hey, and John may have a future career in radio, man, with that voice. So we're going to have John up here, down the road. He may have a career in radio with that voice, man. So good to have you up here. Well, as we continue our offensive player of the game, please join me in welcoming junior wide receiver, Mr. Brandon Bradford. Come on up, Brandon. In a game where there's not much scoring, very important versus South San, scored that lone touchdown in the game. First, I got to ask you, man, the hair. Talk about it.
I've been just I don't know. It just grows. I guess. I don't know.
Did you have a girlfriend tell you to grow that? That's what happened to me when I was in high school, man. She told me don't cut it, and it was down to here, man, believe it or not. So it's good hair, man. Keep it going, all right? Unless coach tells you to get it out of the way. So, well, hey, a junior on varsity. Who do you look up to on the team, man?
Really all the seniors, all the leadership, and it's really Cade and Fillmore and Corey, all the guys who've been there before me, and so I just look up to them and and Taco, basically all the seniors really do.
Well, we're through 3 games now. What has this year been like so far for you, Brandon?
It's been a different experience. From going from JV last year to playing now on varsity, it's way faster. You can't make as many mistakes as you did in JV, and so yeah, really just different experience.
Kind of expand on that, and that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. So you're leading into it. You know, you go from JV to varsity, of course. It gets a lot tougher.
Yes,
Talk about some of the changes in the practices and then just some of the style of play that you've noticed.
Well, practice is way more intense. Like, you can't make as many mental mistakes as you would on JV or physical mistakes, yeah. And then in games, it's way faster. And if you mess up in games, you can see it more than you would on JV. Because, yeah, it could spark something else. Yeah, that's really it.
Do the coaches see it more too?
Yeah, yes,
okay.
sir.
Just
Yeah.
got to make sure,
Yeah,
because I
the
bet
coaches
they see it a lot more.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, only one touchdown versus South San, but that proved to be the big moment, of course, along with Matt Diaz's kick. But your catch there for that touchdown, how important was that touchdown? Of course, I know it's a question that's like, what are you asking me for this? But just from your words, how important was that touchdown, man, for your team?
We won the game from it, so I think it's pretty important. But, like, the defense helped out a lot, too, by stopping them and making sure they didn't score anymore. And then Matt's kick. So, yeah.
So you caught that. What did your teammates say, man, after you grabbed that ball?
Honestly, I don't remember. I just caught it, lined back up, and was ready to go again.
There you go, man. Just no time. We just roll and keep on going, man. Well, hey, one last district contest, of course, coming up here at home versus Stephenville, the Yellow Jackets. Talk about the preparation going into that game before we head into district play, man.
We're putting a lot of time and effort into beating Stephenville, and I think we can do it. I think we will do it. And it's going to be a good game, but I think you're ready for it.
I always ask this on both sides, of course, to every player that comes up here. Some areas that you think that you can personally improve on.
I think I can improve everywhere. You can always improve in something. And I'm just working every day to keep getting better and better at what I can do.
What are your expectations of this season? Where do you want to see this season going, besides, of course, the state championship?
Well, just win every game, beat number one in the district, yeah, be top.
And I know we got to get through Stephenville first, but I do like to kind of look ahead a little bit. You know, I know the coaches, you guys want to focus on each game at a time, which, of course, is important. But when you start thinking about district play, who are some teams that you really want to get out there and take care of this year?
Cedar Park.
Okay. This is the year, man, so
Yes,
we
sir.
know it's coming, man. Talk about some of your role models, Brandon.
My parents are pushing me every day. Leadership council, like seniors in here, like Taylor, bringing the energy, Matt, and then Aaron, and Taco, and Cade, and Tommy, and yeah.
Taco, you mentioned leadership council. Can you talk a little bit more about that and what that entails? It's something really important that you brought up. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, leadership council, like it is, they make sure everybody's doing the right thing, and they bring sure everybody's bringing energy for practice, and making sure we're pushing each other every day to get better, so we can beat teams. Yeah.
And who makes up that leadership council?
Coach. Oh no, we vote.
Awesome,
Each position votes.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's give it up for that. I think that's important to have that. The guys that just you motivate each other, you teach each other. That's what it's about, man. Some of your future plans, man. Where do you want to be?
Honestly, I don't know yet. I'm just living, I guess.
Just living, man. I kind of wish, I was looking the other day and I was like, man, has it really been like 20 years since I've been out of high school? Cherish every moment right now, all right?
Yes, sir.
I like that. Just keep on living, man. I'm going to ask you a question just out of the blue. No pun intended, Eagle Blue. That's stupid, man. I will never say that again. But it is out of the blue. What does it mean to you to be a Georgetown Eagle, man?
It means a lot, I guess. Yeah, it does mean a lot. It just shows that you're supposed to put hard work in everything. You don't just earn something. You got to put hard work into it to get what you want out of it. And so, yeah, and that pushes me every day to be the best person I can be, basically.
Awesome, man. You got a nickname on the team?
Yeah, Coco.
Coco. All right,
sir.
let's give it up for Coco. Coco! I like it, man. Come on, dude. I have to ask you guys.
Yeah.
Final shout-out, man. Camera's right there on you, Coco. Who do you want to send a little shout-out to tonight?
Shout out everybody in here. Shout out Trey. Shout out Coach. Shout out Aiden, Adam, the group chat, Saul, John, Aaron, Matt, Jackson. Got my boy Tingles a shout out. Tyler, my lucky buddy Cade, and yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, let's give it up one more time for our offensive player. Brandon, appreciate you being here, Brandon Bradford. If you want to stay up here, we're going to do trivia. So can all the players, offense, defense, come down? This is a part where we do a little trivia here. And where's that cable at, Brandon? What we'll do like we do every week, the offense is leading 8-5. And so we have offense over here, offense on this side, defense over here. And as we go through, man, there's a lot of you guys tonight. Can we give a round of applause for all the guys that showed up, all the students tonight? We appreciate y'all being here, guys. Thank y'all.
We need to all go in line.
And just pass the microphone around. I know you've already talked, but just say your name and your position and your classification, like your junior, senior, that kind of thing. Go ahead.
Brandon Bradford, receiver, junior.
Tyler Fithian, receiver, junior.
Jake McCown, junior, tight end.
Tommy Wilson, senior, big back.
Jacob Trussell, junior, big back.
Trey Flores, left guard, junior.
Necklace right there is his nickname.
Darson Herman, quarterback, sophomore.
Jackson Tingley, senior, quarterback.
Alex Mahana, senior, offensive lineman. Jacob Ramos, senior, DB.
Aiden Valencia, junior, safety.
Matt Anderson, senior, linebacker.
Oh, there you go. I was trying to wake Taylor up.
Is it on?
Go ahead.
John Miranda, senior, safety.
Saul De La Rosa, senior. No, I'm a junior. DB.
Matt Diaz, kicker.
Watch out on those. It may rain.
Aaron Berrigan, cornerback. Cameron Nielsen, senior, linebacker.
O'Brien.
Watch the camera, guys.
Adam O'Brien, safety. Junior.
Taylor Beal, 8th grade, running back, big back, kick return head coach, water boy.
All right. There you go. 8th grade? Man, come on. I don't know if you can play at varsity in 8th grade. All right, guys. Well, here's how it works. You guys already know how this works. We'll go through 5 questions. The offense is currently leading the defense, so the defense will answer first. We're going to go ahead and let you guys answer first tonight. I'm going to take a picture of y'all, too, real quick, man. If y'all huddle in here, we'll put that up on the page later. So we'll get all you guys right here before we get started. Appreciate it, guys. All right, here we go. Defense going to start here. So get ready. Before the Texans, what NFL team was based in Houston? I'll start easy for you. What team was based in Houston? Was it the Stars, the Oilers, the Dolphins, or the Titans? Again, before the Texans, what NFL team was based in Houston? The Stars, the Oilers, the Dolphins, or the Titans? Yeah, the defense is going to go first. You guys ready? Go ahead.
The Oilers.
Oilers? Offense?
Houston Oilers.
That's it. Both of you got it on that one. I made it easy to start with. Had to make it easy. 1-1 currently here the score, so nobody gained any ground from last week. Question number 2. Texas has the Cowboys and the Texans. Who's a Cowboys fan? Nobody's proud of that anymore? Man, there we go. Is there any Texans fans here in the house? Any Texans fans? Man, this isn't even Texas anymore. Which state does not have at least 2 NFL teams? Is it Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, or California? Texas has the Cowboys and the Texans. Which state does not have at least 2 NFL teams? Again, is it the Stars? You get ready, buddy, because it's going to get harder. The Stars, the Oilers, the Dolphins, or the Titans? Oh, yeah, sorry. I was tricking y'all to see if you were paying attention. The Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, or California? And we'll go to the offense on this one. Offense, go ahead.
Indiana.
Indiana, defense? Defense?
Ohio.
Ohio, it was actually Indiana. Offense will pick up 2. And just to answer that here, Indianapolis Colts are the only team in Indiana. Indianapolis Colts. Question number 3, guys. Question number 3. Hold on here. Offense, defense. Question number 3. This one's going to be hard. It's going to be kind of a guess. When was the first college football game played in Texas? When was the first college football game played in Texas? It's going to be a date. Was it 1894, 1867, 1902, or 1885? Again, 1894, 1867, 1902, or 1885. And we will let the offense answer first on this one. We'll go back to the offense on this one. 1894, 1867, 1902, or 1885.
1894.
Defense? You got 5 seconds, defense. 1894, 1867, 1902, or 1885?
1885.
It was 1894. Offense got it again. The first game recorded was between UT and Texas A&M. So that's the first one. Moving on to question 4. Which Texas university was the first to field a football team? So which college in Texas? Was it Texas A&M, the University of Houston, University of Texas, or Baylor? Texas A&M, University of Houston, University of Texas, or Baylor? We will go back to the offense again on this one. Again, which Texas university was the first to field a football team? Texas A&M, University of Houston, University of Texas, or Baylor?
Baylor University.
Baylor is what the offense says. Defense?
Baylor.
It was not. It was the University of Texas. And that was – hold on, guys. UT, check this out. UT began in 1893. A&M was 1 year later. I thought Baylor, too, when I first did it, so no gain there. Question number 5. Question number 5. We'll go back to the offense again because you're leading. What is the name of the first NFL team in Texas? The first NFL team in Texas. What's the name? Was it the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Texans, the Houston Oilers, or the Houston Texans? Again, the name of the first NFL team in Texas. Was it the Cowboys, the Dallas Texans, the Oilers, or the Houston Texans? First, the name of the first NFL team in Texas. We'll give this one to the offense first whenever you're ready. Offense ready? All right, go. Hold on. You still got a little chat going on. Hold on 1 second. Still got a little bit of chat. All right, guys. Your choice. Go ahead.
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Let's go to the defense. Defense.
Houston Oilers.
It was the Dallas Texans. Dallas Texans. No score there. No score there. And here was it was 1952. A team known as the New York Yanks were purchased and moved to Dallas, where they became the Dallas Texans. They played for 1 season and were regarded the worst team in the league. So that's a little bit of history there for you. All right, I'm going to do one last question, kind of a little breaker question. Offense going to go first again. You guys are leading, so you're going to keep going here tonight. What was the original name of the Dallas Cowboys? Was it the Steers, the Cowboys, the Rangers, or the Stars? Steers, Cowboys, Rangers, or Stars? What was the original name of the Dallas Cowboys? Original name of the Dallas Cowboys. Original name, offense, whenever you're ready.
Can we defer?
Nope, you got to answer.
All right.
It was, it is, or it was, the Steers, Cowboys, Rangers, or Stars. The original name of the Dallas Cowboys. Offense? Go ahead.
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Defense?
What were the options again?
Steers, Cowboys, Rangers, or Stars? You guys got to get this one. You got to get back into this.
Steers.
It is the Steers. So the defense gets 1 point on that. That'll do it for the trivia today as we add up the offense picking up 3 more and the defense picking up 2. So the offense still gets an extra one here this week. Keep up the good work, guys. Offense 3, defense 2. So the offense now at 11. The defense is at 7. So the offense still ahead by 4. Let's give it up for these guys one more time. A little trivia tonight here. Thank y'all for being here tonight. I'm hoping that trivia challenge, continues to build camaraderie and doesn't build, diversion or anything. So, well, let's welcome up now our final segment, Mr. Pete Thill, your Georgetown Eagle Booster president. Come on up, Pete. We'll reach across here and give you the headset as we'll chat a little bit about what's going on with Georgetown Eagle Boosters. Pete, you know, I was kind of serious about that, man. We got to be careful with this trivia. It may kind of build up a little beef here between these guys.
Well, I have the trophy for it. Remember I told you I was going to bring it?
Yes,
It's in my office like 50 feet away, but I didn't bring the key.
That's all right, man.
So,
well, Pete, as always, appreciate you being here. Talk a little bit about what's going on at the Booster Club, man.
hey, how about those new helmets the two boys had?
Like it.
The matte black helmets, those turned out great. Coach got those this year. That was awesome.
Sweet.
I want to fill in on a couple things we've been doing. We had posters printed up with each of the varsity players for Media Day. They're posted at different businesses around town. There's a couple here on the window just to try to encourage people to be involved in cheering for Georgetown football. So we did that. We had some decals made up that the boys' parents could buy for the back of their cars. We're going to be selling some of those at the game. We have extras. It'll be the Georgetown football one. We had some community involvement from grade schools. Because of homecoming, some of the grade schools got together and had a mum party. So they're going to be all coming to the game. So we're trying to encourage. Boost Club is trying to get more community people to the game. Like, that's something I want to talk about later. Stephenville travels really well.
They do. Yep.
We want to. They're going to have a surprisingly large number of people for coming from that far away. So tomorrow night, JV Silver will be playing at Tarleton. They're playing Stephenville at Tarleton. Blue is playing at College Station. Then both freshman teams will be at the stadium, playing at 5:30 and at 7. So a regular Thursday night schedule for the freshmen. We'll be serving varsity dinner at the cafeteria like we do each week. Tickets for Friday night's homecoming game will be on sale tomorrow and Friday before school and at lunches. I don't think it's in the cafeteria. It's right when you go in the front door of the school. So if you want to buy tickets, you can get them there if you don't want to get them at the stadium. Then there will be a pep rally this week. So 9:27 is the start time for everybody that wants to go to that. In the gym, there's an area of the stands that are set up for parents coming in. So we encourage everybody to go. That's a good time to watch. It's a lot of fun. We'll be tailgating. Friday, food will be served about 5:15. Roland and his cooking guys are going to have chicken fajitas.
How many of you guys go to the tailgate, by the way? Can we see a show of hands for that? Isn't that good food, man? If you haven't been, get down there and eat some of that Roland Moreno food, and you will be set for a week.
It was good. We had, I think we had over 300 people last game.
That is awesome,
yeah,
man.
So
wow.
it builds as the season goes on. So we expect to have more people coming tomorrow or Friday, particularly because it's homecoming. So that will be chicken fajitas. Then we have the inflatable tunnel that we put up before games for the boys to run through. Some Pop Warner players are going to be with the boys this week because it's homecoming. They'll be,
that's awesome.
I believe, parading, walking through the stands, and then going through the tunnel before the game with the players, just as a way to encourage community involvement. And then, like I said, I just want to mention, Stephenville travels well. We need to get a lot of people there. We need to make noise. They bring these refrigerant bottles.
The canisters.
The canisters full of ball bearings, and it just is like a million bees. So we made up about 11 of them. So we got some of those after playing them last year, but they're going to make themselves known more than we think.
Awesome. Well, we need everybody to show up, be loud, support your Eagles versus Stephenville. Going to be a tough one. Pete, any final comments from you on the Booster Club?
No, that's it. That's what we have going. Our job is to support the players, support the team, and we do everything we can. We try to get community involvement so that we get fill the stands up on a Friday night.
Awesome. Well, unfortunately, I won't be on the call Friday. I'm traveling to Louisiana with Sam Houston State University for that game on Saturday. At first, I was going to do the Georgetown game, and then I was like, man, that's going to be like a 5+ hour drive. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to make the Georgetown game, but my good friend, business partner, Carl Schoening will be on that call alongside Kelly Duvall. If you guys know Kelly, he's going to get rowdy and loud, so it's going to be a lot of fun. David will be helping out as well. Let's give a shout to David England. Thank you for all you do, David, by the way, man.
David England and Emily England as well.
And Emily's
here.
Emily's
over
here. For Fan Stand. Give Emily a round, too. Emily, you do awesome work. You better believe it, man.
Yep, for the videos that come out every Tuesday.
So Carl will be on that. And hey, before we end this, I wanted to say a special shout. I know I was kind of giving Stephenville a hard time and joking around a little bit. Their radio guy named Boots Elliott, been there for a very long time, a very nice guy. So I wanted to say a special hello to Boots. He's so awesome because he collaborates with us, saying whatever information you guys need as far as stats and that kind of stuff, let me know and I'll trade with you. And that's very nice. So we appreciate Boots doing that.
That is.
And then one final thing, we don't have this here at Georgetown. I've noticed in 5+ years of broadcasting, but I'm just going to say this: if you were ever at a game and you notice a parent kind of harping on the officials too much, I'm just going to say this because I've talked to a lot of officials, especially now at the collegiate level. Give those guys a break. They do good work. There's been some numbers that have came out now that a lot of high school officials within their first 3 years are now quitting just because of a lot of the stuff that's going on. And so I just wanted to say, be nice to the officials. They do a good job for the most part, unless something's not going our way, then we kind of get worked up. But in all fairness, we do like that. And at Georgetown, I wanted to bring that up because I wanted to say that this community, for my years of broadcasting, we don't have a big problem with that. And that's something for the Georgetown fans to be proud of. So thank you for being courteous and being supportful. That's a nice round of applause. Because I'll tell you, I've been to some games where it is just ludicrous what happens at some of these games. And so that's something for Georgetown to be proud of. So keep that in mind as well. Again, Royce Electric out of Harker Heights. They always support our coaches' shows now here. They out of Harker Heights, Royce Electric, their granddaughter, Kaylee Biondo, who's a cheerleader. And so we appreciate them. Also, Georgetown Shirt Company and Greg Eady with Extraco Banks. Thank you for your generous support. Friends, again, can we please give a round of applause to Carmen and Berger University. Jackson back there holding it down. Appreciate you, Jackson. Thank you and your wonderful staff and everybody who makes these coaches' shows possible. Thank you to all the students that came out. And as I end every broadcast, friends, reminding you tonight, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody tonight needs you. Until next time, on the count of three, let's say it loud and proud. Eagle fight never dies. 1, 2, and 3. Eagle fight never dies. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.
Hey, can everybody stay seated for a minute? I want to take a picture to put on Facebook looking out from here.